This is what we're going to talk about. With your swing especially, right? You're lining up here, you got a pretty wide stance, you're coming all the way up to the top and trying to come through. You're making a full swing, right? If my hands are up by my shoulder, that's a full swing. It's hard to control and it's hard to accelerate through the swing. So in short game, like everything else, but especially in short game, acceleration is the key to a good shot. You got to be able to make sure you're picking up speed as you swing, not coming up here slowing down and just trying to kind of hope you go through the right speed, right? As soon as you decelerate in that swing, that ball is just going to be off target. You're going to hit it wrong. The club's going to start moving. The face is going to start twisting, right? You're going to come down steeper. There's just a plethora of things that can go wrong if you decelerate or not accelerate in the swing. So what I want you to think about instead is I want you to come back shorter than you think, swing through farther than you think. This will ensure that you're going to accelerate through that ball, right? So instead of taking a big old swing here and hoping that I'm going to swing through, or blasting it past, or getting scared right at the last minute and kind of pulling back, which is going to make me almost flop the ball or blade the ball all the way across the green. So instead, what we're going to do, we're going to create a real solid base. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to put our feet a little closer together and we're going to bend our knees more than normal. So we're really going to get down here. And as we do that, we're going to grip down on the bottom of this grip, okay? So instead of standing up here where I feel like I got to really reach down and use my arms to get there, I'm going to sit almost like I'm getting ready to sit in a chair down here and let my arms naturally hang and grip towards the bottom. Now when I go to swing, I'm going to hit the ground every time, even if I'm just moving my shoulders, okay? So sit in the chair, let your hands go down. Make sure this is naturally where your left hand comes in. And then from right here, this Y that club creates is gonna stay there. It's gonna stay as one piece as you swing through this, right? I'm not swinging arms or wrists. I'm not trying to use my arms to swing. I'm using just my shoulders. And as I do that, I can ensure that I accelerate, put 80% of my weight on my left foot to make sure I swing down into the ball, and then just worry about swinging to my target. Nice, easy click, nice, easy swing. It's a lot easier to control your distance if you just have one thing moving in your swing, which in this case is just your shoulders. The whole point of trying to get that seated down in that short little thing is to isolate your hips. We don't want any hip turn in our swing. That's where you're gonna generate extra power. It's gonna be hard to control your distance. So instead, that's why we sit down and isolate it, lock those hips in. It's really hard to turn from here to generate any power from that little seat. And if you don't feel comfortable putting your feet together, you can still have your feet wide. Just make sure you get down. Get down here, same thing, put that weight forward, shoulder back, shoulder through. So when you're coming up, a lot of people, especially when they're doing short game, they grip normal and then they try to come up tall. You try to come up tall, you're gonna have a tendency to come down steep. That's gonna make you hit into the ground, right? And that's where the chunks come in or the blades come in. This club is made, it's got a fat sole in it. This club is made to bounce off the ground and go, but you don't want it to come straight down. You want it to be coming forward, down, and long when you swing, okay? So the way we're gonna ensure that, once again, just using shoulders. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna drag it back and try to keep it as low to the ground as possible. Now a full chip and full shoulder rotation, I can only go back to about here, which that club head, just as tall as my knee. That's a full chip, okay? I need a little bit more than that. I get into a pitch shot, which then I'm gonna come up to about my waist, about a half swing, a little bit over, right? Waist, and that's just gonna use a tiny bit of my hips. Pitch shot, chip shot. Drag that club out, make it wide back, make it wide forward, accelerate down and through that ball by leaning towards your target, and just worry about getting that club head to the target instead of hitting the ball. Use your shoulders back and shoulders through.